Welcome to our special series, I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Alima Hotaki. Imagine trying to get your entire family to volunteer. Sounds difficult, but here to discuss just that are Adrian Beaudry, the Manager of Engagement and Programming, as well as Ebony Wright, the Coordinator for Community Engagement of Volunteer MBC. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So can you tell me a little bit about Volunteer MBC?
Sure. Well, Volunteer MBC, we're a volunteer center. We've been around for about 6 years now. And basically, we want to be a one-stop shop for people who are interested in volunteering. We help connect people who want to volunteer with nonprofit and social service agencies in the community that need volunteers. We serve Mississauga, Brampton and Caledon. And we have a lot of people coming through our doors every day that we try and connect. Then on the flip side, for people who are working in the sector, we like to provide a lot of professional development and learning opportunities for them.
And what are some of the core services that the organization provides?
Well, one of the things we're most known for certainly is that matching service that we provide. We really want to be able to accommodate people in however they want or need the services. So when people are looking to volunteer, we can either have them come into our office and we'll sit down with them and have a brief interview and talk about what it is they like to do, what they're good at, where their interests are, and connect them that way. If people don't want to talk to anybody, they just want to go online and find an opportunity, they can go to our online database. And so those are sort of the core services and the different ways that we can help people.
And specifically because today's topic is about families, what are some ways that families can get involved in volunteering?
So the first step for families, I definitely say, is to identify the cause or charity you care about. And next, to go through our website. So the neat thing about our database is that we separate the volunteer opportunities by area of interest. So any member organization that has opportunities for a family can select family, and we'll post it there.
It's very interesting. So, because I'm imagining this almost as a job interview. So what really happens, if you can just guide me through the steps? Does like the entire family, let's say it's a family of 4 or 5, do they all come in and then you sit down and it's a consultation? How does it all work?
Generally what happens is, I'd say the head of the family that is steering the volunteer opportunity would generally meet with the volunteer coordinator and get whatever form needs to be filled out. So generally it might be just general information about the family, name, age, and then the first date of volunteering will be organized, and then the family joins on board.
And how do you usually, let's say you have a family of 4 or 5, how do you kind of sync all these different interests? How does, like, it's already enough for one individual, but if you have 4, one person is interested in, let's say, helping youth, another person is interested in helping seniors, how do you find that common ground?
You've tried to herd kittens before? It can be very similar. Just, you get them all in a box and one jumps out. And I think that today's families are used to juggling multiple things that are going on. And if you can get everybody to an activity once a week, you know, you can find the time and hopefully bring people together. A lot of scheduling, a lot of planning. Could be some compromise as well. Yeah.
Well, talking about scheduling, that's often the most important issue. How do you get a family to schedule? How do they all show up at the same time at a specific event on a regular basis?
Right. Well, what I've found so far is that families generally are available to volunteer either on the weekends or after work. And the common misconception among families is that during the weekday you can't volunteer because nonprofits are usually open business days, or business hours, I should say. And actually, a lot of organizations have events on the weekend or after hours. So that's a great way for families to get together and volunteer. And often the common opportunities like volunteering at a food bank or gardening are done around the family schedule. So organizations understand that aspect too.
Why specifically food banks and gardening? Are those like the more popular choices among families?
I'd say it's the more popular for just groups, and just in terms of trying to manage capacity, that's why they're more popular. But I've also seen increasingly that organizations that offer workshops for families will engage a families of maybe 2 or 3 to share their skills with another family. So it could be something like helping a family to navigate resources in the community or active play, things like that.
And in terms of involvement, how, I guess, consistent is the involvement? Is it very regular? Is it once a week? Can it be, is it like occasionally, once a month, twice a month?
I'd say it varies. It could be once a week, or it could also be just, say, for strictly events. And events we usually have 2 to 3 events in Peel during the month. So it could be just an event basis, but really up to the family.
And talking to families, actually, what do they often say about, I guess, because like nowadays, a lot of families in real life don't even have time for each other.
Right.
Is this a way to kind of like allowing families to also connect with each other?
I think it's also a great way in terms of education for kids, wanting to pass on certain values of being responsible and caring for others in the community. And I find that there's certain things that happen in the community, certain social issues like poverty and homelessness that you can't teach in a school setting, but giving kids the opportunity to volunteer and see those things firsthand really makes a difference.
And Adrian, I just want to ask you then, why should families volunteer? If I had to have a family right now, how would you convince me?
Oh, well, I think really volunteering is fun. It's something that we should all enjoy, look forward to doing, and I think especially in schools, students are learning at a younger age the importance of that civic engagement and giving back. And I think really that when you can come together as a family, figure out what you care about, what you love to do, and then sometimes there may be an existing opportunity with an agency, but sometimes you might want to call an organization and say, look, my family, we're interested, this is when we're available. Because if you can find something that pulls together the strengths in your family that already exist and maybe gives new opportunities for them, then you're going to have a lot more success and people will want to do it.
True, true. And also, families, have they actually come out and said we've become a lot closer because since we started volunteering? Have you ever had cases like that?
Sure.
Yes, we've had families that have called and said it helped their son either be more motivated for school, it's helped their children to kind of figure out what they want to be, and even for the family, it's been a way to just get out and just have fun together.
It's a nice way, too, to see new skills in your kids, or especially we have a lot more multi-generational families now, right? So it may be kids with parents and grandparents all together, and it's just a nice way to see people interacting in ways that you don't normally see.
And here's a very interesting question. How young are often the children? Is there a wide range? Because I'm imagining maybe 8-year-olds, 11, teenagers, or do you also sometimes have people, I don't know, kids that are 5, 6 in that age group?
I would say the common youngest age would be 8. I think 8 and up.
It really depends on the role and the organization and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And often, what sort of roles do you give the kids compared to the parents? How does that work? How do you balance that?
What I've generally seen for event opportunities specifically is that as long as the younger child has someone older with them, they can be pretty much placed in any role because there is someone there to guide them. So they would kind of share the role together.
And I was talking to, there's a literacy program in Peel, and they have, the parents might be teaching the class, and older children or, children who are literate already might be teaching or reading to the parents that are in the class. So it could be, as long as the child is literate, could be even 7, 8. Too young is sometimes too young. I know I've brought my kids to events when they were too young. It was a lot more chasing after them than focusing on the task at hand, but it still opened some opportunities for them.
Well, we are close on time, so I'll give you 20 seconds if you can just let our audience know how they can get involved with the organization.
Well, go to our website, so volunteermbc.org. Talk amongst yourselves, figure out what it is you like to do. What do you think? Anything else?
I'd say search through our areas of interest. Family volunteering is always updated on a consistent basis, so there's always opportunities every month to get involved.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
And we'll be right back. welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Joining me now are Helena Segrin, Coordinator of Volunteer and Student Services at the Region of Peel Human Services Department, along with Taranum and Ayaz Khan, who volunteer as Family Literacy Program Facilitators. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
Hello. It's a full house. It's always lovely to have three on the panel. So first off, tell me a little bit about the organization.
Okay, so the region of Peel serves over 1.4 million residents in the Brampton, Caledon, and Mississauga area, as well as 88,000 businesses. So I work within Human Services Department, and I coordinate the Family Literacy Program, where it's run by our volunteers and they facilitate workshops. There's 9 different workshops that the volunteers meet with the parents and the children, and they go through literacy and language development. It's a program that's fun, it's entertaining. They do songs and stories and rhymes and interactive games, as well as there's a healthy snack, and parents have a chance to talk about maybe some challenges that they have and get information about how to support their child's early literacy and language development.
And what are some ways families can get involved?
So families, they really do promote the family literacy program, as well as facilitating those workshops. And we facilitate we run the program in over 100 different locations. We have over 250 volunteers who facilitate in elementary schools, at public libraries, as well as other community centers. And so the volunteers are facilitating. They're also helping us to promote the program and get ready for running the program.
Okay. Now my next question I'm going to direct at the actual volunteers now. Yeah. So Taranum and Ayaz, the two of you, whose idea was it to volunteer as a family?
I guess mine.
Yeah, it was. Okay, yeah, it was yours, of course.
Yeah, I came to Canada in 2011 May, and I found the family literacy program while I was visiting the resource center, the Region of Peel Resource Center. I liked the concept. The first year I volunteered alone. However, in the meantime, Ayaz was ready for volunteering. First year, my younger son Mushahid attended the program with us as a participant. However, it's such an amazing experience that Ayaz, Mushahid, and me, we kind of volunteered together as a family in the program.
And how many people in the family?
Well, 3 of us do it together.
Oh wow! So it's you with the dad, or with another?
With my younger son. Ayaz is my elder one, and Mushahid is my younger son. He's age 11, but he comes along and supports us.
So Ayaz, I'm sure a lot of people probably ask you this question. How does it feel to volunteer with your mother? Because a lot of youngsters are like, it's enough that I already deal with mom at home. Here I have to volunteer with her too.
See, here's the thing. My mom is cooler than most other people, and I do happen to enjoy her company. Yeah, so it's great volunteering with her. I like it, and it's really fun. She actually helps me out too, and it's more convenient, I guess, too. So it's really fun.
And have you guys always been very close, or do you feel like the volunteering has brought your relationship a lot closer together?
I would say we have volunteered together for a long time. Back in 2009, since then we've been volunteering together as a family. And at that time, my husband also was with us for the Peace Tree International program, which is another program that we support even now. And it's beautiful to volunteer together because, again, I'll have to go back to Mushahid's words, and I took permission, I assure you, from him to say this, that it is about team. It's working as a team. We get to know each other better. We try to support each other better, and it's an enriching experience, I would say. Ayaz had also a thought around that when he said that it's, if you want to say it yourself.
I'll say it. It's that we are a family, and we're volunteering for the family literacy program. So families connecting with other families, we get to know about each other and different different cultures we bring to it, and it's great. It's great communication with the other families, looking at their kids and all that stuff.
And how did you decide on this organization? Was that a collective choice? How was that decided?
Well, I guess it was kind of a collective choice, but it's regional appeal, and I was like, yeah, of course, I want to volunteer for it.
But why specifically the literacy program? Why not, let's say, a food bank or a seniors home?
Literacy program, because it has kids in it, and I like kids. I like working with them. I like seeing them smile, so it's fun. I like kids.
So
great.
as a family, you never have that moment where you come home and you're like, oh, I just need my own space. We've had enough of each other. Do you have those moments?
I guess everybody does, but then we look forward to our Tuesday nights when we are doing the program, and we are looking forward to spending that quality time together. I feel that it would be a lie to say something like, oh, we don't have those moments. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But then, again, having this opportunity to work together, we are able to overcome those moments and find the positive side.
That's true. That's well said. And Helena, why do you think family volunteering is so important?
Well, I think that, as they mentioned, it gives you a chance to be together. In today's society, most families, both parents are working, and so it's more quality time as opposed to quantity. And so when families get a chance to go out into the community and help others, it's a sort of a win-win situation in that you get to spend more time with your children, and your parents are role models for their children. And when the children can see my mom, my dad, they're doing something. They're going out to volunteer. They're making a difference in someone's lives. And with the family literacy program, they're making a difference in the lives of little children that are going through early literacy.
And how has Volunteer MBC assisted your organization?
So when I became a coordinator with the family literacy program, I needed to recruit volunteers. And Volunteer MBC, they were able to post our volunteer positions on their website that people can access. And they as well, Volunteer MBC meets with volunteers. And so they really were able to send us people who were ultimately interested in facilitating and working with children and families. So yeah, that's how they helped us.
And the last bit I'm going to leave to Ayaz. If there are people your age interested in volunteering with their family, what advice do you have for them? 15, 20 seconds.
With family?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd say it's a great thing. It's really fun. I think it's a great bonding time, and I guess you get to understand each other, and it's great, I'd say. So I have a lot of fun volunteering, not only with my mom, but with my brother too. It's kind of a bonding time for us.
We'll have to wrap it up, but that's a great answer. Thank you for coming. And to those watching, stay tuned. We'll have more after the break. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Joining me now are Rashna Chotai, Dylan Chotai, and Rachel Petropoulos, volunteers with the Mississauga Food Bank. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me, I'm going to start out with the two of you. What does it feel like volunteering with your mom?
It feels good knowing that she's helping out
with the food drive, it makes me want to help out even more, knowing that picking up food for the food drive is going to a great cause.
And was it your idea to volunteer, or was it your mom's?
It was my mom.
Initially, yes.
Yeah.
So why do you think family volunteering is so important? Why did you want your family to get involved?
Family volunteering is great. It brings the family closer together. It also teaches our children to give back and not expect anything, in return. And it's just a great way to get the community involved as well.
Do you think that's very important, instilling those important, like these values in your children at an early age, whereas when they go to high school it becomes more of a credit? I volunteer because in order to graduate.
I needed the hours.
Yeah.
Very much so. I think it's very important to, to instill this in when they're younger. Very important. And we've had volunteers as young as age 6. And of course they've been supervised, but it's a great way, and they've, from age 6 onwards to all the way up to 16, 17, they've volunteered, and it's amazing to see the level of confidence build up as well.
So how many in your family?
4 of us in our family. My older son has always volunteered. He's in the university right now.
So do you all
my
go?
husband as well.
So the 4 of you go to the food bank together?
We actually, I organize a community food drive in our neighborhood. It's the Old Meadowville Village Community Food Drive, and we host it for Thanksgiving, Easter, and Christmas throughout the year.
And Rachel, I'm going to take it to you now. How did you get involved with your family?
I got involved with my family because Dylan and I met in our elementary school, and I sort of came over to their house and recognized what they were doing, and I knew that as soon as I saw that I wanted to be a part of something like that. So my family and I took an interest, and we definitely joined in with them to accomplish it.
So how many in your family that volunteer together?
There's 4.
Oh, there's 4. Wow. And why specifically the food bank?
We chose the food bank because we know that a lot of families are really struggling with the amount of food they have, and we know that people really need that support from people who have a lot of things, and we need to see what we can do to change that.
And Dylan, what are some of your responsibilities?
For the food drive?
Yeah.
Well, during the food drive, I've been known as a leader with my fellow friends that I recruit. So I help organize the groups, and I teach the younger kids how to do it.
And do you enjoy it?
Yes, it's really fun doing it with my friends, and then, yeah.
Oh, and I guess to the both of you,
Yeah.
you both can answer this question. How has this changed you, volunteering?
Well, it's made me become a leader, and it's just great to see how generous people are in our community.
And you, Rachel?
Yeah, I agree with what Dylan said. It definitely helps you build your leadership skills and really show you how and have that feeling built up of importance, you're doing something important in the world and really changing someone's life for the better.
And what have the two of you learned about yourselves?
Is that we've become much more confident in ourselves when we go up to the door and ask.
And you, Rachel?
It's definitely a good experience, saying hello to your neighbors and your family and friends, and just learning that the both of us together are in this together, and we're really helping people, and definitely it makes you realize how what a responsibility it takes to do something like that. So.
And I guess, Rashna, maybe you can answer this. What sort of roles are available for families to do at the food bank?
There are all sorts of roles. There's community food drives that we can actually roles that students can offer their help, going door to door and collecting food, stapling food drive flyers to the bags as well. But there's a number of activities available at the food bank itself that I'm sure Chris Hatch would be willing to give us more information about at the food bank as well.
What are some of the more popular ones? Do you know any from your own experience having volunteered?
Sorting the food out. I mainly organize the food drive in our community area. We go door to door to 1,600 homes in our area 3 times a year. That covers the entire weekend. So it's quite a big project that I plan ahead a month in advance, but that's mainly what we do, and we collect between 4,000 and 6,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Per food drive
wow.
for that weekend. Yes.
And I know Dylan has said that he's become a better leader.
Yes.
But you, as his mother, what sort of change have you seen in your son since he started volunteering?
Great leadership. You know, we have the younger kids who come over and they want to volunteer, or the, you know, older kids who don't know exactly how to go about with the volunteering. So, you know, Dylan being more experienced, I asked him to, you know, take that leadership role, and Rachel as well, take that leadership role, and you know, go in a buddy system, go to the doors, because the newer kids, they feel a little bit uncomfortable knocking on the doors. They're nervous, they're shy, and you see a big difference, a big turnaround in the next few years, where they're, you know, changing from those shy, introverted kids to kids who just, you know, they're so much more extroverts and outgoing.
Yes, and Rachel and Dylan, do you also feel like, since you've started volunteering at the food bank, that you're learning a lot more about society, that there are people in our city, in our towns, that go hungry, that don't often have enough money or food to feed themselves? What have you learned about the community in general, about the larger issues?
I've learned that when we go door to door and we collect food, it's really helping people out that do not have enough money to buy food or are struggling in their family.
Yeah, like I definitely feel that it helps the families out in need, and knowing that like your time and effort you're putting in really helps like a family not feel hungry for those cans of food you provide for them.
Do you feel like if it weren't for the food bank, you probably would not have been as aware of those issues?
Yes.
I think, yeah, definitely.
So in terms of raising your awareness, it's also, like, as your mom was saying earlier, it's been a very educational experience.
Yeah.
And I guess also my one question would be, how do you schedule your schedules? How synchronize them? How do you make them all in sync?
As in the food drive organization?
No, volunteering.
Volunteering?
Yeah, on a specific day.
On a specific day. You know what, it's on a specific weekend, and if it's the Easter food drive or Thanksgiving food drive, we start on a Saturday. We actually host the food drive Saturday and Sunday, because it's such a huge area, we can't cover the whole entire area in one day. We start at 11 in the morning and go up to 2 o'clock. And we then, we're organized into 4 groups. I organize them into 4 groups and try to cover as much of the area. But everyone door knocks at the same time. So we've got 4 different groups starting in 4 different areas to cover as much as we can.
Well, that's amazing. We are actually out of time, but thank you for for coming. It was a pleasure having you here. And to those watching, you can find out more by visiting the Volunteer MBC website. I'm Alima Hotaki, and on behalf of everyone here at Rogers TV, we hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching.